Welcome to Talking Halos. It's Derek Ciapola with my co-host, my partners in crime, Jared Timms and Nate Green, and I love it, guys. I love it when I'm wrong. I don't always love it, especially in arguments with my wife. But when it comes down to Angels baseball and picking against them, I love it when I'm wrong. Angels sweep the Red Sox. I get the fall of 4-7, 4-7, and I'm happy to be there. If it means I'm wrong about an Angels series, guys, how you doing? Start with Nate.
Good. Anytime you beat the Red Sox, this is like the team growing up that for Jared and I, the Angels could not beat. And so for the
Mhm.
Angels to go 6-0 against them this year, take three at Fenway, take three at home, that's huge. It's definitely something that we haven't seen the Angels do in a long time.
Nate, sorry, Jared.
Yeah, no, it's good time right now. Back at 500 as well with hopefully not an easy series, but hopefully a series where they can go out and win it. Then again, we said that about the Baltimore Orioles series, and they get swept by the Orioles. So, but yeah, it's good to be back at 500. It's good to be we're getting closer to the draft, we're getting closer to the trade deadline, we're getting closer to the All-Star game. A lot of fun activities here as summer rolls on. But yeah, good to see the Angels back at 500.
Well, despite the fact that it had issues, guys, despite the fact they had this great series, there were some issues. Most notably, Zach Neto. Rough one here. MRI out. What's the latest word?
Yeah, sounds like he's just gonna miss a couple days. You never know though. With the Angels, MRI came back clean, which is good. But it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't play in the National Series. I guess you never know. Neto's a pretty tough kid, so it takes a lot for him to get out of a game, be taken out of a game like that. So something must have hurt him. But good to see the MRI came back clean. But shoulders always worry you. It's swinging, throwing, all that fun stuff. So, but yeah, hopefully we see him in the National Series at some point.
Another thing I noticed about the series is we're seeing a lot less of Logan O'Hoppe. You mentioned in our last podcast he's got some issues back behind the plate. What should the Angels be doing with them, Nate?
I will really wonder what's going on. Just because Ohapi has been pretty bad behind the dish. Um, we saw in the Red Sox series the first time that Tyler Anderson got picked, and it wasn't because Tyler Anderson, it was because of what Logan Ohapi was doing. So that was kind of interesting to see that Ohapi didn't catch as much in this series. Darno's starting to swing the bat a little bit too. Ohapi has hit some homers, but that's about it. He hasn't really got too many hits. I think he has like three hits in his last 7 games, 15 games, something like that, and they're all homers. Um, so you're looking for him. I know they're doing a lot of work with him on the side. They're trying to change his swing a little bit, trying to work with him. So it could just be one of those things where it's like, hey, we're really trying to work on these things. Let's wait until we're 100% ready to go with this. Um, and then we'll start to give him some more at bats. But yeah, it's a little concerning to see that he hasn't played in a little bit, and hopefully this does work out for him where he figures out some things with his swing, gets back on track because this is a guy who like actually takes the leadership role on something we haven't seen from an Angels player in a long, long time. And Zach Neto is a very good leader as well, but I don't know. It feels like Logan O'Hoppe is always somewhere talking about what the team's doing, what the team has decided, how the team's going about their business. It really feels like he is the voice for this team, and for that to continue in a good way for this team, he needs to be on the field and he needs to be playing, halfway decent. So hopefully he can get back on the field and get back to playing well.
Jared, what's his future with this organization right now?
Is it me or is it the Angels that are deciding his future?
Oh, I'm asking what you think it should be.
I think that he's been this bad as a catcher this year that I think that they should think about moving him to the outfield, maybe a corner infield spot. I mean, it's hard to play third base. Nolan Chonel's at first base, so he's not going there. Maybe you think about putting him in left field, but there is a little bit of a log jam out in the outfield, especially if Taylor Ward is there. So yeah, if it's me, I think about moving to the outfield and taking the pressure of calling a game off. But also if he's hitting like he did at the beginning of last year, and granted, I mean he was really, really good beginning of last year. But if he is, that's a valuable catcher. Plus he calls a good game. He understands the game. It's hard to find someone that, understands the game and calls a good game like that. So I think that again, he's young. You just got to kind of give him a little bit of, you got to give him some time. It's a learning experience. He's failing right now for one of the first times, really, and we'll see how he adjusts.
Overall, good series though. We saw a lot of good pitching from the Angels. And what was the biggest positive that you took, Nate, from this? I'm going to ask you positive, Nate, because we know how you are about being positive. What's the biggest positive you took from this series?
Kikuchi. I mean, it's good to see Kikuchi go out there and dominate like he did. I think it was huge. The one walk is massive for him. He struggled early throwing strikes and keeping the walks down. He ends up with 12 Ks in 7 innings. Um, that was what the Angels were looking for when they decided to sign him this offseason, is the guy who's going to go out there and strike out, you know, 8, 10, not walk anyone, and give them a chance through 6 or 7 innings. So that was the biggest outing, I think, of the whole week. Anderson was okay. Jack wasn't very good, but Kikuchi coming through and being, especially when the Angels needed it too. Like Jack didn't have his best stuff. Anderson only went 4 2/3, so they really used the bullpen the first 2 days. They went into extra innings, like all these things, and Kikuchi goes, you know what? I'll just go out there, throw 7 shutty, and give the team a chance to win, and we'll move on. And we don't really have to use the bullpen too much. They use Zephyr and Zephyr get the 6 out save, and that was huge. So I think that was like massive for this team, because we've seen the Angels just absolutely abuse this bullpen all year long, because their starters have been going 3 1/3, 4 1/3. So that start right there has been unbelievable.
What about you, Jared? What was the biggest positive from this series for you?
Angels bullpen. Kenley Jansen got hurt, and you saw other guys step up. Reed Detmers has looked really, really good. Sam Bachman's looked really, really good. I mean, dare I say, unhittable for those two guys. Ryan Zefferson, even Brock Burke. I just think the bullpens looked really, really good. Not just in this series, over about the past, 2, 3 weeks, they've been very, very good, very, very reliable, and that's kind of how a bullpen is. It's going to be a little up and down, but yeah, Bachman huge. Detmers, great. Like it's really good to know when, if you have the lead going into, the sixth, seventh inning, that there's a good chance right now that, the game's over. It's good to shorten a game like that for sure, especially with this pitching staff. But the starting pitching staff's been really, well, not the entire starting pitching staff, but Kikuchi, Soriano, even Kyle Hendricks has been giving them a chance to win ball games. So yeah, it's just kind of all working out really well right now for them.
All right. So there you go. My positive, Christian Moore. Walk off. I mean, been a lot of kind of ups and downs for him as he's made his way up this year. And to get that walk off, that was to me a very big element of what we're hoping to see from him in the future. We've been talking about development all year. Nice to see him succeed there. So there's my positive. We're back for the Washington series after a word from our sponsors. All right, guys, here we go. Let's pick them. Jared's coming in at 5.5 and 8. Nate's at 3.5 and 8. I'm 4 and 7. I don't mind having that extra loss come on this week, because that means that the Angels got the sweep. Friday's game. Here we go. The Washington Nationals at 33 and 48 come in with Jake Irvin at 6 and 3, a 4.18 ERA against Jose Soriano, 5 and 5, a 3.39 ERA. Jose's pitched very well recently. Nate, what's your pick here?
Yeah, I've been asking Soriano to prove that he is not just a one-hit wonder, and he's gone out there and just keeps throwing well. So I'm going to go Angels win game one. Soriano throws another good game. Uh, I would be shocked if Neto's not in the lineup actually for Friday, just because they gave him Wednesday off. He had Thursday off. I would be shocked if he's not back on Friday. So Angels win game one.
Jared.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Soriano's been pitching so well that you got to kind of go with the flow here. Plus, Jake Irving hasn't been pitching that well. He doesn't strike out a lot of players, gives up a lot of home runs. I expect the Angels jump all over him.
I am in agreement. I got the Angels win this one. Soriano's got the hot arm right now. I'm going to ride it. Saturday night, Mike Soroka, 3 and 5, the 5.06 ERA. Kyle Hendricks coming at 5 and 6 with a 4.83 ERA. Here we go. Two guys with 4, 8, and above ERAs. Nate,
Hey,
how
you
you
got to
feel
be
about
nice
this
to him.
one?
He got his ERA under 5. That's a really good job by Kyle Hendricks.
There's your
You know,
positivity coming
he
in.
got that ERA under 5. It only took him 2.5 months, but he did it. So, he throws another good enough game that the Angels win again. Soroka has been pretty bad this year, and Hendricks hasn't been great, but I think over his last 7 starts, he's been really, really good.
Yeah, he's got like a
Uh,
4.5 ERA over his last 5 starts or something like that.
Last 7 starts, he's got 4.4, which is really good for a guy who had a 5.9 ERA going into, I think it was like 3 starts ago against the Yankees. He had an ERA over 5.5. So um, I think he continues to give the Angels a chance, and the Angels win the first two.
Jared,
I can't do it, man.
I
Cannot
know.
do it. It's a loss for me. I'm sorry. I still can't do it. I was debating about flipping it to Kahanowitz because of how Kahanowitz has been pitching, but I feel like the last 2 starts he's been better. Not great, but better. So I'm taking the loss here for the Angels just because I mean, realistically, what I want to do is say that they're going to get swept because that's totally the Angels and what they're going to do. Especially playing a team where they could get three
yeah.
games over 500. Really start talking about them being in the playoff picture in a wild card spot. But I'm going to stick with 2 of 3. So just a sneak peek on there. I'm going to say the Angels lose this game though.
So I gotta be the guy here. All right, I'm gonna go with. I have to give Hendricks credit for keeping them in the game, but my gut goes the same way that Jared's going. The Angels do this stuff all the time. They don't they play teams and they've been beating teams they shouldn't be beating, and they've been dropping series to teams they shouldn't be dropping series to. I got Washington winning this one. I expect a lot of runs in this one though. Close the game, the series. Mitchell Parker, 5-8, 4.59 ERA against Hanowitz, 3 into the 5.49 ERA. Jared,
I said I'm gonna have them take win 2 of 3, so they're gonna pull this game off and win it. This is 110% a series that they could get swept in, just like the Baltimore series, and the Angels could be 3 games under 500 again, and it's a total Angels move. I'd love to see them sweep the Nationals, but it's a scary series. Well, 100%. They just don't step up to this occasion. They're gonna be hopefully. I'm crossing my fingers on this one, guys.
Nate,
Angels dodge another ace. They didn't look good
they
against the
do.
last ace. They dodged Mackenzie Gore, who's been pretty good for Washington this year. And you know my rule, I cannot pick Jack Hanowitz. Like it's against the rules. He's been so bad this year. It is very frustrating. I know this is my one part to be negative right now, but it's like you cannot continue to tell me that we want to buy in July and continue to run this guy out there every 5th day. It's unacceptable. And I'm going to continue to say that until they make a change or they decide to sell. One of those two things, but you cannot have both. The Angels lose this game. Jack, I was at the game on Monday when he threw against Boston. It was awful. He looked terrible. I know they got the win, but that was just because Walker Buehler couldn't throw a strike. So he should be very thankful that Walker Buehler could not throw a strike.
All right. I'm going with the Angels on this one. I like the momentum. And guys, I gotta be honest, we've been hammering the Angels a lot this year. Yet they're 40 and 40. I have to give some respect just to how gritty they've been. They have no business being 40 and 40. And here they are. And I'll take that. It's been refreshing to see how gritty they've been throughout the year. I think I've mentioned that last show. So I'll take the series. Hopefully I can get a win in my record on that. And then we'll move on. Hopefully they're over 500 when this thing's over. So, any closing thoughts, Jared?
Yeah, tip the cap to Ray Montgomery for stepping in a tough situation. Or Ron Washington out, or we don't even know what's going on really there, other than seeing them eat chicken wings. But yeah, I will. We'll kind of see there. I mean, Ray Montgomery had some managerial considerations around the league last year, or in the last couple of years. So I don't know, but we might be seeing the Ron Washington's replacement for the future. We don't know.
What do you say? Nate.
Glad to see he can follow Perry's game plan. At least somebody can. Um, the one thing that I wanted to talk about too is Logan O'Hoppe. I think you stick him with catcher, especially knowing that the automated balls and strike system is coming next year. There's just no way it's not with how bad the umpires
Hmm.
have been this year. The Angels have actually been one of the teams to get screwed the most by umpires.
Yeah.
So I think that there's just going to be way too much pressure from the fans, from Major League Baseball, from teams, from owners to put this in play. And there's really no point to move Logan O'Hoppe because the reason he's struggling is he's not getting those strikes called because he's catching the ball so bad. He has a good arm. He's been able to do that. He can work a little bit on his blocking. It's not great, but that's the biggest thing he can work on, and that's something you can learn to get better at as well. So I think O'Hoppe long term sticks at catcher because it makes the most sense for this team. Just because it's really hard to find a catcher that can hit 20, 25 homers, and if he can get the average up to about 240, 250, then it'll be like an absolute steal behind the dish. So I would keep O'Hoppe behind the dish, even though it's been frustrating to watch him this year. But knowing what's going to happen in the future, it just makes the most sense.
Even if it's just a challenge system and not the complete full ABS system.
Yes, yes, because challenge system, you can still get away with a bad catcher back there because you'll still know if it's a strike or not.
I'd like to see them focusing on him. Definitely. You guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So, all right. In the meantime, Jared, any last thoughts? Sorry, my mic just cut something weird.
No, I got nothing good. Like I said, I want the Angels to take it to Washington for sure. Um, but man, it's such an Angels thing to go out and get swept in this series. So I don't know. That's just my thought. I don't want to think that way, but super Angels move to get swept.
All right, guys, and follow us on X at Talking Halos. Follow me at DC Paul. Follow Nate at Nate Green 34. Follow Jared at Jared underscore Tim's. Got a lot of information today on X. I was watching them. Yes, I'm not stalking you, I promise. Come check us out. We might do a couple fun things this weekend. Make sure you follow us on X to find out. We're out of here.